Hi, this is going to be an update video, so if it's your first video from me to watch, just click on another one with revelations or testimonies or things like that. In this video, I will only talk about like what is going on with me and with Heaven on Earth and all that stuff. The Wayout series is going, and we are in the middle of it right now. The 8th session is coming out on this Saturday. Every now and then I have these questions and answers sessions in Hungarian, so there are some things to do with it, but all the shootings are done at this point, except for the last video. The last one will be the 14th session, and it's gonna be released on the 7th of May. And I have received a few testimonies how people are impacted by this series, and in Hungary there are like 135 people who do it as a training, and they receive like regular emails with different materials and Bible verses and all that, and related videos that they can watch, and yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It's not like a lot of pressure for me right now. Like, I was like curious whether people would think, like all of the viewers would think that I would be their personal coach or a counselor or a therapist or something. They do have questions, and there is some interaction, but they are not like overwhelming, and I'm so grateful for that. That was the only thing I was a bit like worried about, like how people would react to this, and it's going well. And also, this Wayout series is very intense for me. It's not like, oh, I've been there, done that, I'm okay now. There were a lot of like emotional things coming up while shooting and in between shooting, so it was intense for me. I wasn't expecting that to be that intense for me. I don't plan to be like an emotional well-being coach or like focus on inner healing more or nothing like that. I think Heaven on Earth is a platform to share things about like intimacy with Jesus and our union with Jesus, and how it manifests in all the aspects of our lives, and it includes like emotional well-being, but it won't be the inner healing that will become the main focus of Heaven on Earth. So for me, this Wayout series is kind of like the closure of this darker season of my life. Like, I talk about it and the struggles, and this is the end of it. Like, I don't say that I will never ever talk about these things. Of course I will, and my healing process goes on, so probably maybe I'm gonna release new videos with new insights later, but I'm kind of draw a line in the sand. Like, this was the hard part of my healing journey, and this is over now. Because I do Heaven on Earth almost completely alone. Sometimes some people jump in to help with some things, but mainly I do it alone. And the only way I don't have a mental breakdown is that I like it. And I do it like in seasons. Like, there's a season of publishing a book, then I don't do anything else. Then there's a season of shooting, then I only do shooting and nothing else. And that's the way I can function. And I'm so happy because after like book publishing and Wayout shooting, I finally have a season when I can be creative again, and I paint again, and I really love it. I don't know when I'm gonna have an art show. I'm not really into it at this point. I'm gonna travel a bit because all these COVID things are like lifted, and now I get to travel. And I'm gonna have like some mission trips when I minister to people, and I'm gonna go to some places where I'm gonna learn. Of course, I learn everywhere I go, but where the main focus is that I learn and I get drenched into the understanding of the gospel. So I'm so excited for these trips, and yeah. So this summer will be about like do some discipleship things, like in groups and going on vacations and retreats with the people I disciple, and maybe I will go to some places to preach. What I do right now, and this is not a new project, but almost, is that I edit my dialogues with Jesus from my diary, and I'm gonna publish it at some point. I don't know whether I will publish it in English. Probably I will publish it first in Hungarian. That's what I'm working on, and it is so like so calming, and so it makes me feel so good to read them. Like, Jesus hasn't changed since I wrote them, you know. I changed a lot. Like, sometimes it's ridiculous what I was saying to Jesus back then, but how Jesus reacted was like just the same he does today, and it's so funny. And even though I had no understanding, and I didn't have that much of a depth of relationship with God, Jesus still found a way to talk about union with him and the finished work of the cross and all that stuff. And it's so shocking because I didn't have a paradigm for that. Like, I didn't have that understanding of the gospel back then, and he was still able to communicate it. So it's so fun to read those dialogues with Jesus. So I'm really looking forward to publish these things, and I'm not gonna hurry with it, so it's a slow project I do on the side at this point, but I really enjoy it, and there's gonna be some art stuff in it, like yeah, some paintings or poems and things like that. So these are the projects for the following months. The good thing is that I have like the most hope ever in my life. God is talking about crazy things, like how much I will do with this heaven and earth thing, that there will be a lot of people involved in it, and this is gonna be just a label, that heaven and earth, and there will be a lot of like creatives working on different projects, and with different gifts, and there's gonna be like a lot of production going on, and I'm gonna be just like one of the creatives working in heaven and earth, and there will be a bunch of people with the same message, with the same understanding of our union with Jesus, and they're gonna create out of that place. And God just tells me that he has the money for it, he has the resources for it, he has the people for it. So I'm very hopeful, and it's very stretching for me, because it's like I learned how to make ends meet with the smallest resources possible. Like I know how to do the impossible, like in financial terms and in resource terms. That sometimes it's like I do every part of the project, and it looks like, you know, it was a product of teamwork, and I was only behind it. And I don't have a breakdown when I do these kind of things. I even enjoy it, but I really feel like the Lord says, like, this is not how I meant it to happen, and this is not what you like have to get accustomed to. Like, this is not how I'm gonna lead your life. So I'm really looking for those people who are called to what I am, what God called heaven and earth to be. And I don't see that this is going to be my empire and people will be under me. I see that this is going to be like a certain understanding of the gospel, and there will be a lot of people who represent it in different ways with their different gifts. So I'm so excited for that, and I'm really looking forward to this and how this gonna actually happen. And God really calls me to take risks. So my whole life was a risk, like how I pay my bills. And now that I'm over that season, God just calls me, you can take larger risks than your regular income, or how you make ends meet. Like, there are greater risks to happen. And then he just says something crazy to me. So with all those things, like publishing and production and having different creatives and having great art shows and all that, is like completely impossible, and I'm so hopeful about it. So if you are called to like any of the things I shared, and you feel like you need to participate in any way, you can contact me on this email address below. There are also some account details and PayPal links and things like that if you want to support me financially. I'm so grateful that some people do that. Like, this is how the whole Wayout series was paid for. God told me with the Wayout series, like, you can do it cheap and you can shoot it with your phone in your room, and I just want you to call someone professional and make it in the best possible quality. And that's what I've done, and it had all the costs are actually covered now. And there are some people who send me like larger amounts of money who didn't know me, who didn't know my ministry at all. And when I asked them, like, why did you give me this money? You don't even know my stuff. And they said, like, oh, Holy Spirit told me so. Like, and yeah, and it's like, I don't know what's the fear of the Lord, but this is definitely the point when I experienced it. Like, God just makes people trust what he's doing through me, you know, in a way that is absolutely like surprising for me. Yeah, and I'm very thankful for like the regular monthly donations. It's like it's so good that I have something to count on. I know the only thing I can count on is the faithfulness of God, but it's like, it's so good that I can make calculations actually with my income. And when people just give me like larger amounts, it's like, okay, then this project is covered. So I'm very thankful for this kind of things, and I'm so excited for the future. And if you have any advice to me, ideas, you can contact me. I'm so interested. Like, there's so many people who just help me with stuff, like they help me move or help me pack the books when they arrive, or like, you know, do ordinary things. Like, it's a big deal because I'm like alone in this heaven and earth thing, and when there is something larger happening, it is possible only because of you. So the reason why I share what is going on with me in heaven and earth is that because you are my ministry partners. Like, basically I have no other ministry partners but you, the viewers. Of course I have friends, but it's like, you know, I'm alone in this project, and it's so great that I can get help and get advice and get support from you, and basically you are my team at this point, and I'm really looking forward to have some people who are called to being like really involved in this thing, and people who can share in this vision, and yeah. So I can't wait for that to happen, and even until this point, I'm so thankful for you standing by me and encouraging me and sending short messages to me and feedbacks and all that. I really love you guys, and see what God is going to do to us. And I wish you would receive like way more than I received in my relationship with God, in my healing journey, financially, and in every sense. I wish that God would bless you way more than I ever seen anyone being blessed. Love you guys.